So, in order to produce sound, we need three conditions. So, that means three conditions are necessary to produce sound. Three conditions are necessary to produce sound. Now, what's that three important conditions? One is that the body must vibrate. The body must vibrate. I'll write vibration of body. This is the first thing which should be there. Second, there should be a medium from which sound can propagate, or I'll write sound can travel. Third, there should be a receiver who can actually receive the sound, which can actually hear the sound. So, these are the three conditions in order to produce sound. One is the vibrating body. Another, we know that sound needs medium to travel. So, there should be a medium from which the sound can travel. Medium can be solid, liquid, gas, anything. And there should be a receiver who can actually listen the sound. Now, as I told you, that medium is important for a sound to travel, because if there won't be any medium, if there will be vacuum, we won't be hear anything. If we are talking, like if we are we are at certain place where there is no air, nothing is there, so we cannot communicate with each other, because sound needs medium to travel, and sound without the presence of medium, it cannot travel through vacuum. So this is a topic I am just going to discuss with you in order to show you that sound need medium to travel. So this is a practical activity. You can also practice it at home. So what's there? There is a bell jar in which there is an air. It is filled with an air. It has a bell fitted and it is connected to a battery. Bell is ringing and we can hear the sound of bell. Clear? Again, this is bell jar. It has a bell and bell is ringing because its terminals are connected to battery. So this is a ringing bell, and bell jar has air and there is a ringing bell, and we can actually hear the sound of that ringing bell. Now what we do, we start pumping out air. We start pumping out air. So we see that as we pump more and more air out, the sound of this ringing bell goes on becoming fainter. Fainter means we are able to hear sound, but it is not as much loud as it was earlier. So as we pump more and more air is taken out, the sound of ringing bell goes on becoming fainter and fainter, and there will be a time when there will be no air inside. Suppose if we pump out all the air and vacuum is totally created inside, so at that time the bell is ringing but we are not able to hear the sound of ringing bell. The reason for that is because though the bell is ringing, but there is no medium present here, there is all vacuum, because as I told you, we have just pumped out air outside. So everything like there is no medium inside, so these waves which are being produced by it doesn't get any medium to travel and we are not able to hear it. So this is how you can explain that whenever you get a question like this, that how can you prove that sound need medium to travel. So just try this activity, that take a bell jar, there is a fitted bell inside whose terminals are connected to battery, bell is ringing and we can clearly hear the sound of ringing bell. Now by the use of vacuum pump, we start pumping out air. So when we pump out air, the bell is ringing and we can hear that sound, but it is not that much loud as when we started the activity. So as more and more air is pumped out, the sound of the ringing bell goes on becoming fainter and fainter and more fainter, and when there is no air left inside, we are not able to hear the sound of the ringing bell, because there is a vacuum inside and it doesn't get any medium to travel, and as I told you that sound needs medium to travel, it cannot travel through vacuum. So this activity actually proves this point, that sound need medium to travel, it cannot travel through vacuum. Now as I told you, it can travel through solid, it can travel through liquid, it can travel through gas. You know that faster, like out of these three, it travels fastest from solid and its speed is least in gases. The reason behind this, because in solids we know that particles are closely packed Particles are closely packed, so they can actually transfer their vibrations very fast. But in gas, particles are far apart, so the speed is there, but the speed is very slow, because suppose if there is a vibration in this particle, it is going to hit this particle and it will take certain time to transfer energy, and likewise it will take another time to transfer to another energy, transfer energy to another particle. So that means the speed of sound is fastest in solid and least in gases. This is the reason, suppose whenever if the train is coming and you just keep your ear on the railway track, which is made up of iron, you know. So if you just if you don't hear the sound of any siren or something, you just keep your ear on that those iron railway tracks, so you can actually feel the vibrations of the train, because the sound actually travel more faster in those the track if we compare it with the speed of the sound in the air, the siren speed, which comes later. So that is the reason that because the sound travel more faster in the solid as compared to gas, because particles are more closely packed. So I think you understood that what are the three conditions necessary to produce sound, and moreover how can you show that that sound need medium to travel, and out of solid, liquid and gas, like how the speed varies and what is the reason behind. And any practical activity, if somebody asks you that how can you prove that the sound travel faster in solid, so you can give that example of railway track, right.